This pacing thing is starting to get ridiculous with Ghost. Yeah, it's the first week I'm only doing just Ghost because I quit Ninja. So this should hopefully be short. Um, Takeru first tries to get details from Sage, who isn't talking. Hope either Sage is going to be has this deeper plan to things or something. I'm curious on what his plan is now, since he already all 15 ghost icons have now been created. So either he has to give clues to the other 5 that are not in either of the writer's possession but are being held by um, Jagged guy, whose name we learn is Saionji, I guess. But yeah, Sage isn't telling him what's going on. He's just manipulating him, which is curious considering the things that are alluded to with the Ganma this episode. That their actions in getting the icons are a secondary goal to either an invasion or their people crossing over. Apparently, the Ganma realm is a bit more elaborate than just a bunch of spirits in eyes or something. That's what I'm getting off of the appearance of another fully manifested Ganma, and the one that we've been seeing before. Iran is apparently a prince of some type of Ganma kingdom. We are now allowed to see. Said new characters named Javel. And I'm Javert. I just keep picturing that bit from the Les Mis movie, and it's all forms of hilarious, especially with the outfit. That might actually be what they're referencing with him. I don't know, but apparently he's a Ganma-based Kamen Rider, which we will be seeing next episode, where he uses Ganma icons and potentially the rider's icons in his gear. We already know from preview material he can utilize a bunch of the existing Ganma coats as his own form, so I'm curious to see where that goes. Um, but yeah, last of the 15 icons is now in play, and it is Benkei. I don't really know anything about Benkei at all. Apparently, as the episode showed, he was kind of a collector of weapons. Okay, I do know one thing about him. Armed Samurai Benkei. There's a card based off of him in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's neither here nor there. How they go about acquiring it is they discover some of Takeru's father's research notes and the identities of his assistants, the aforementioned Saionji, and another individual whose name I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But I thought there was something curious about his name, as I could have sworn I recognized it as in some type of a legacy name, but as I'm not recalling it off the top of my head now, I can't really talk about where that could have come from. But yeah, the guy is a scientist who quit his job and kind of freaked out 10 years ago and now lives in an abandoned home. And they only. Here's the thing, they find him by going to where he works, but he apparently hasn't worked there in 10 years or quit his job recently. It's kind of inconsistent, especially since when they're describing the guy, they say that he would regularly take calls from Takeru's father, who's been dead for 10 years. So there's kind of a, I guess, a timeline disconnect relating to that specific instance. It seemed off to me. But yeah, they find the guy, and he's completely freaking out in a way that, there's this scientist that briefly makes an appearance in Kamen Rider Ryuki that I brought up when I reviewed the series that was holding off attacks by mirror monsters with a card and otherwise just broken down, fearful for his life. And this guy came off kind of the same way as he did. I guess that makes sense character-wise, since the Gamma that's stalking him to pull out Benkei is dragon-themed. So that's an interesting illusion I found. But yeah, it's pretty. To manifest the icon, they kind of just had to reassure the friendship and kindness, which caused the icon to manifest. But then this dragon-themed Gamma attacks him, and left him on the verge of death. The episode ended before we could find out whether he actually died or if, I'm forgetting the priest's name. I feel terrible about forgetting the priest's name because I've been very good with that the last few episodes. Anyways, they try and get him to safety. But the bigger thing though is that we get another revelation about Makoto's situation. For after the Ganma icon, not the Ganma icon, the Benkei icon is made and Takara uses it, Makoto interferes in the battle and it leads to the revelation of Kanon being trapped in the icon and, well, needing the other icons to bring her to life, fully remanifest her body in kind of the weird Full Metal Alchemist way. Now, we've known this from preview details and supposition, but it's with the related stuff last episode, it's nice that they didn't really delay on that, on getting that out there. However, there's the thing about Saionji tricking Makoto into believing that Ryo was the cause of Kanon's situation last episode. That wasn't really followed up on. It kind of seemed like it was superfluous since it wasn't going to be an active part of the plot yet. I mean, it's informing his motivator, but it's not, they did it too early in the story arc, is what I'm saying, since he has all this stuff and all this establishing him as a character, and if they're going to resolve this so quickly and get them to be allies for whatever reason, I guess that would have been better to kind of use it to break them up later, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, lots going on in Ghost right now, but it's, again, the pacing that's harming it. They're trying to do too many things. They're trying to get the icons, they're trying to allude to this greater plan, there's Saionji with the ghost icons, and it's because they're focusing on so many of these things so fast that not a lot of them are getting much development. The only progress we're getting really is with the icons, where had they split this into two-part arcs, these things could have been better fleshed out, because they would need to fill the runtime. As I've said in previous vlogs at this point, I'm pretty sure the reason they're doing this is they have a lot more planned, and hopefully with all the icons out there now, they can then slow things down. But if they keep at this pace, the story is going to crash and burn because there's so many plot threads that aren't, like, they're stretching them. No, they're not stretching them. They're not. I'm mixing that metaphor. They're not developing them enough for them to be able to stand as stable points to prop up the series and make it interesting. It still is interesting. Oh, that's another thing. The whole historical allusions and allusions to past series. There's so much stuff, and it's not terrible, but it's wearing us down because it feels like we're not really keeping up with what they have planned, and they're not getting out what they should be with any real progression. I mean, episode 7 and 8 of O's was where they introduced the actual antagonist of the series, made him a specific part of that episode, kind of addressed his whole story arc there with his hatred with his seeking destruction, and he would be a background element in later episodes that fully fleshed him out. Here, we don't really get a lot of these characters established. They're just suddenly there, and then we have only small snippets to go by. Yeah. So, hopefully, now that all the icons are out of the way and they can use them randomly in varying episodes, we can get more character stuff. Because it was another episode where we had 2 battles, and we kind of just need... Okay, a lot of 2 episode arc series have 2 battles in an episode, but it's like, with how it's moving so fast, I think some of these battles could have been excised to focus more on story. Yeah. As you can see from the table and down there, I am working on stuff. Yes. Hopefully stuff that will be in the show soon. So, that's all I got. I will see you all next week. Bye.